You've probably heard of keyboard shortcuts, but do you know what they are and how to use them? Do you know how much time they can save you? It's pretty amazing how much easier it is to navigate your computer when you use these shortcuts. We'll talk about some of the main keyboard shortcuts today on Tuesday Tech Training. Hello, and welcome to today's Tuesday Tech Training. My name is Jennifer Stewart. I'm the owner of Gateway Productivity, and I'm a tech and productivity trainer. Today, I want to teach you about keyboard shortcuts. I am always amazed how much time I save using those. For those who aren't familiar with keyboard shortcuts, what this means is on your computer, you probably use your mouse to do a lot of things like copying, pasting, cutting, undoing things using the little back arrow. All those different types of things can be done using your keyboard. And it may seem like that wouldn't save you a lot of time, but think about the time it takes you to find the location with your mouse and then click maybe 2 or 3 times to get to what you need. Instead, by using a keyboard shortcut, you hit a couple keys on your keyboard and that action is done. I find myself using keyboard shortcuts all the time, and I don't think I can live without them. Today, I'll show you some of the most common keyboard shortcuts, such as cutting, pasting, copying, undoing, redoing, printing, and saving. The first shortcut we'll talk about is one that I use frequently, and it is copying. We'll start by copying something in a document, but you can also use this in other places. We'll start by clicking and dragging over what I want to copy, and then I'll use the shortcut keys Control-C as in cat. And if you're on a Mac, it's Command-C. So what you do is you push down the Control or Command, hit the C key, let go. And although you see nothing happening, what actually happens in the background is what you copied goes to an electronic clipboard. And that's basically why when you see the little paste icon that it looks like a clipboard, because there's something in the background in your computer that's holding on to that information for you. And whatever you most recently copied or cut goes to that clipboard. You don't really need to know that going forward, but if you see the word clipboard, that's what that means. So we have copied this. Now, let's say I want to put it right underneath there. We'll do the shortcut for pasting. Pasting is Control-V as in Victor or Command-V as in Victor on a Mac. So again, same thing, hold down the Control or Command, and then this time we'll hit V. And you can see what I had copied is pasted there. We can use these same shortcuts in another location. So if you're needing to copy and paste a document, we can do that as well. Let's go over and see what that looks like. So if in here I have something in my resources, let's say it's this document right here, and I want to copy it, the same thing can be used. I can do my Control or Command-C as in cat. And again, it doesn't look like anything happened, but it did. And if I want that in the main folder, I can go out here, click in the white space that might be down below, or if you have a lot of documents, it might be off to the side. Just click in the white space. That way you're not actually pasting into a folder. That's why we do that. And we'll do our Control-V as in Victor or Command-V, and then it pastes the document that we copied. But if I go back to where I was before, we can see that that document still exists there. That's how I know that I copied it. I didn't move it. Now let's talk about the next shortcut, which is cutting. This is when you need to actually move something from one place to another. Before we made a copy of something, this time we're going to move it. This one we'll do the same way. We'll highlight what we want to work on, and we're going to do Control or Command X as in X-ray. Once I do that, this time, because I'm cutting it, it removes it from the current location. It's just like cutting a piece of paper. You're going to cut out that portion and take it somewhere else. It's the same idea here. We cut that line, and let's say I just want it several lines down. Now we'll use our pasting option that we did before of Control-V as in Victor or Command-V. There you can see it pastes it, and it took it from one location to another. Let's see what this looks like with the documents on your computer. We'll go here. And let's say this time I want to take the one that we put in here earlier, and I'm going to cut it and paste it into the books folder. Our keyboard shortcut for cutting was Control or Command X as an X-ray. I'll do that now. What's different here is the file doesn't disappear, but you can see the icon here got really faded. And that means that we have cut this document and it's about to be put somewhere else. Next, we will open the folder where we want it. Again, I'm going to click kind of in the white space so I make sure I don't have anything selected. And I'll do a Control V as in Victor, again to paste. And there you go. It has moved it. Let's go check. In this main area where it originally was, it's gone. And that's because this time we cut and paste instead of making a copy and pasting. Now we'll talk about the shortcuts for undoing and redoing. For undoing, let's say the cat accidentally walked all over the keyboard and you've got something like this. To undo this, you can use Control or Command Z as in zebra. So let's do that. And you can see it gets rid of everything that was typed previously. I can even do it one more time and get rid of what I pasted earlier. There you go. So it goes backwards from the things that you've recently done. It depends on what program you're using this in as to how far back you can go with your undos. Some will only let you undo once if it's something that's constantly saving and only keeps track of the last thing that you did. Most programs will let you undo several steps. Now let's say that I messed up and I want to redo and put that line back. I can do Control Y on a Windows computer. And on a Mac, you will actually do this by hitting Shift Command Z. So that's kind of how you're telling your system that you want to do the opposite of what Command Z would normally do. So if Command Z would normally undo something, Shift Command Z is going to redo it on a Mac. So that's the one different one on a Mac. Again, on a PC, if I want to redo, it's Control Y. And so you can see it redoes that one. And on a Mac, it is Shift Command Z. And all of these options will be available in the notes below, including links to Windows and Mac lists of shortcuts. The undo and redo are usually only available in the document programs like Microsoft Word or Pages on a Mac or Microsoft Excel, those types of programs. Now we'll talk about the saving shortcut. This one is Control or Command S as in Sam. This is especially helpful when you're at the beginning of your document as we are now. We can see at the top, it just says document 1 because I haven't saved it yet. When I hit Control S or Command S on a Mac, it will bring up my save screen. Lastly, let's talk about the keyboard shortcut for printing. This one is Control or Command P as in Paul. And what happens there, when I hit that combination, it brings me to the printing screen. And this may look different depending on what computer you're in or what program you're in, but it will always bring you to the printing screen. And then you can do the things you normally need to do to print. What's great about the keyboard shortcut for printing is that you can use it in pretty much every program. So let's see what that looks like if you want to print an email in your web browser. Once we have that email up, we can hit Control P or Command P on a Mac, and here it brings us to our printing option. Now you've learned the most common keyboard shortcuts. If you love doing this and you want to learn more, I will put the links to the Windows and Mac keyboard shortcuts full list in the notes below. Have you had a light bulb moment from this training? If so, please let me know in the comments below. You can also put questions down there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can also give the video a thumbs up or share it with someone you think could benefit from the information. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the red button below. Once you do that, a bell icon will show up. If you click on the bell icon, you'll receive notifications each time a new video is posted. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.